Well, hey everybody, Mr. E's back with you, and in this video we are going to be simplifying algebraic expressions, and more specifically we're going to be doing that by applying the distributive property. Alright, so remember the distributive property allows us to take a number outside a quantity and distribute multiplication over both of those terms inside the parentheses. All right, they're actually, I'm saying both, there could be more than two, but specifically for us, all these problems we're going to be doing have one term on the outside, and we're going to be distributing it over two on the inside. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive in and do some of these problems together. All right, so remember this number outside the parentheses, it means multiplication. We don't put a symbol there. We could put a dot. We wouldn't put an X because we don't do that anymore. But we are multiplying, all right, and we're going to take this number outside the parentheses and we're going to multiply it by both terms inside the parentheses. I like to put these arrows to remind myself to do both. So here we go. So this is going to be negative 7 times 4d. All right, and because that's a plus there, then we're going to put a plus, all right, plus negative 7 times 8, all right? So here we go. So negative 7 times 4d, that gives me negative 28d, plus negative 7 times 8 is a negative 56, all right? And I think I've mentioned it before. We don't usually like to write plus a negative. We usually rewrite that as negative 28d. Instead of adding a negative, we subtract a positive. Again, this is not incorrect, but this is preferable. All right, back over to this one, number 1. Here we go. Not sure why I didn't start with number 1. 6 times negative 4. All right, so that's going to be 6 times negative 4 plus 6 times 9d. So 6 times negative 4, that's negative 24. And 6 times 9d is going to be 54. D. All right, and that is certainly a correct answer. I got to let you know, usually we like to write the variable term at the beginning. And then again, instead of adding a negative, we would subtract a positive. I just want to let you know, for example, if you were doing this on a multiple choice quiz or where it was a worksheet with choices, you would be much more likely to see 54d minus 24 rather than negative 24 plus 54d. But again, that's not incorrect. This is just preferable. All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and distribute through here. So I have negative 2 times 8. Okay, and then now be careful. I have this minus, right? So it's subtraction of negative 2 times 4x. So it gets tricky. You got to be careful when you have subtraction. With addition, we don't have to be quite as careful. With subtraction and negatives, it can get tricky. All right, so here we go. Negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. All right, minus negative 2 times 4x would be negative 8x, right? But subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive, so this would become negative 16 plus 8x. And again, what you're more likely to see would be 8x minus 16. All right, again, not incorrect. This is not incorrect even, but this one right here is our preferred answer. And again, if you were doing a multiple choice assignment, that's probably what you would see here. All right, so just trying to make you aware of what you're going to see most often. All right, so here we go. 6 times negative 7 minus, again, be careful, that's a minus there, minus 6 times 4r. Now notice I put the minus there, so this is a positive 4r, okay? So again, be very, very careful with your signs and your operations. All right, 6 times negative 7 is negative 42. Minus 6 times 4r is 24r. All right, now in this case, you might see this one left this way because there is a negative in front of there. Or if we were to switch this around, we would get negative 24r minus 42. You got to look for the fact that we can switch the order around, especially, again, when you're trying to match a problem to an answer. You have to learn to recognize they may write it differently than you did when you got your answer, all right? Okay, let's do a couple more, and then we're going to call it a day on this video. So here we go. All right, so I've got 5 times negative 2z, and then again, here's my subtraction. So this is 5 times 6. This is not 5 times a negative 6. It's subtracting a positive 5 times a positive 6. All right, so this is going to give me negative 10z minus 5 times 6 is 30. All right, so that is one way you could see the answer. Because this z term is negative, well, they're both negative, but it could also be written as negative 30 minus 10z. Although I'm thinking you're more likely, because they're both negative, to see that one because they put the z term first. All right, last one we're going to do together. Here we go. Negative 9 times negative 3x. And now we're back to a plus between them. Negative 9 times 2. All right, so negative 9 times negative 3x, that's going to give me 27x, plus negative 9 times 2, that's going to give me negative 18. But remember, we don't usually write adding a negative, so we would most likely see 27x minus 18 if we were trying to match with the answer. All right, so there are some problems where we simplified algebraic expressions specifically by applying the distributive property, which is multiplication over terms inside parentheses that are either being added or subtracted. All right, I hope this video was helpful for you. Until next time, have a great day.